to class and good evening to all the listeners.
Okay, so this is a great time to be having this conversation. The one in charge of the police force or unit, if you want to call him as such, the IGP, is beginning to respond to your call. The fact that there's an increasing spate of crime in the country. And here's what the police strategy is. I just want you to listen to ACP Kwesi. Then when you get this explanation, we'll get your reactions to this. Listen.
Acting Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Kufu-Dampare, has pledged to the people of Ghana that we're going to stop it, and as a result, we deploy special anti-robbery task force to the eastern region, specifically Afram Plains, the Samankasi areas, and then in the Bono, the Bono East, that is KJG, Kwamadanso, Yeji, through Techiman and all other places, and we are determined to stop it. Our men on there carrying out special tax operations, targeted operations, as well as maintaining general law enforcement on those routes. And we can say that things are moving on very well. Yesterday, in the Eastern Region of Afram Place, for instance, we arrested 21 people with various arms, ammunitions, and implements adapted to cause harm and mayhem. And we are so determined. In fact, and one thing is that we've really identified all those routes, and we've put policemen out there with specific instructions to do whatever they can within lawful means to halt it. And I believe that the gain so far, about 2-3 weeks ago, is so encouraging, and we'll press on till we get them out. And whoever crosses the path of the police by additional violence to decent people in society, ordinary people in society, the police will do whatever within the ambit of the law to stop it.
So that's the response from the Ghana Police Service on the statement that you issued. Francis, I'm just wondering what your reaction will be to this, the assurance coming from the IGP that they are moving to deal with the martyrs.
Yes, good evening once again. My response will be twofold. The first one, I'll deal with the police and their strategy that they use to combating this crime in our community. For instance, in these modern days, it is no more good for us to be adopting the old style of combating crime, because these criminals themselves are highly sophisticated. They go training themselves to be abreast with the modern way of, in quotes, stealing. So if our police could not be a par or could not also train themselves, be well trained to meet these people, there is no way they can mitigate whatever is going on now. But let me look at something. When you look at the first, we are crying that the crime, killing and other things are increasing. It's true. For instance, if you look at the first quarter of 2020, according to the Interior Minister, that's aremany, it was 2020, it was hot at 123. Then in 2021, it's hot 144. So you can see clearly the difference that is truly that the murder case and those crimes are hot increasing. So now, our organization thinks that the increase of these things here is true, that many may say that our police are not on the top of the job. As we cry always, the CSO and all well-meaning Ghanaians, we criticize the police. It's true, they should also be at the top of their job. But the ultimate question is that, are they being provided the well equipment? Because when you cry for the chicken, you have to also cry for the... When you cry for the hawk, you have to also cry for the chicken. So now the question is that, is the state capable, or is the state providing the equipment that these police officers should use to combat the mayhems and vices in our country? Are they being supplied adequately? No one can say no, nothing is being done. The little is being done. But we are not very much sure that the thing that these police personnel need to to protecting themselves. For instance, you are going to meet these sophisticated armed robbers we are talking about. Do they have the protection? Do they have those things? They are guns. These days, it is not too well to be using those long guns. Sophisticated pistols are good for these people, and sophisticated armor cars are also needed for them. But we see that it's only a little that they have. This is the first leg of my explanation. But if these are policemen are doing their best, though we are not appreciating what they are doing, we have to interrogate again that what at all is the issue? Is it necessary that our policemen are not at the top of their job? We have found the second leg, which is saying that in Africa, for instance, for that matter, Ghana, countries suffer from these similar factors that is increasing our killings, serial killings, and armed robbery in the society. But according to the GLOSARGG, we found out that apart from those things that you mentioned now, that the police is not maybe at the top of the job, there are other factors. For instance, we can look at a factor like unemployment, scarcity, and poverty. Number two, we can also refer to corruption with impunity among the minority capitalist elites. Another point is also talking about distorted rule of law and inequality. And we can move to number four, which is also saying that we have conscious or lavish lifestyle of technocrats.
I get the point you're saying. And in the end, the Ghana Police Service, the service that's been tasked to ensure our security, says we're moving to act on these matters. At least that's a level of assurance, isn't it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's a level of assurance. But if this assurance are being given on and on, but at the end of it all, the results are the same. So it is very good for us to look at the conversation in a different angle. That is not only to, maybe you can have all the things that the police can use to mitigate this crime, but we also have to look at the angle, a different angle. That's what I'm pointing at now. So if all these things are there, so as a human being, what caused this crime? We have to also identify them. According to Maslow, we need to eat, we need to put on clothes, we also need to have a shelter. So if all these things are not there, irrespective of whatever the police might do, because a human being who is not stable and need to eat something, need to put on something and look like a human being, also have to rest himself or herself somewhere, that is the shelter, may always try to do something to also be recognized in the society. So I will plead that it is very good that our government to also help the police, apart from supplying them with all this that the police need. They also have to create that enabling environment for both public and private sector to try to have companies and other industries in order to absorb the teeming youth that are wallowing in abject poverty. Because these are some of the things that lead people to committing this crime. They cut the head, they decapitate people for what? For money rituals and other things. So that's why I also wanted to be looking at this. We have some models that you call to add to it. I have a model that I call PCF, that is Police Community Forum. So we think that apart from the police themselves going up and down, they should also come together with the community where they have to bridge that gap in such a way that the police should be free. There will be that mutual understanding. They should behave as a family in our communities where if there are issues, there are armed robbers. Because these armed robbers, they are not far away from us. They are our husbands, they are our wives, they are our children and friends. So if the police is able to put that trust in the community, and I think and we think and believe that when there's such things going on, the police will be, or the people will be able to expose these people or this mayhem concept to the police, and hence they will now go in with their intelligence and other things to try to truncate, to mitigate, and if not to eradicate this in our community.
You're going beyond the immediate to talk about what should be happening in the future, and you talk about some reforms that should be taking place. Here's the case that the Ghana Police Service, in terms of its leadership in itself, is moving through a transition period. That may have happened already, but we do know that it's an institution. So that the fact that you have James Bueno receding and COP Dampari taking over as the IGP, that would then mean that we need some more time for him, at least, to roll out the necessary reforms that will improve the Ghana Police Service. So if you're making these reforms, don't you concede that at least he needs some much more time to deal with these issues?
Yes, they need much more time, as you said. As I explained earlier, it is not only these police people. All of us are involved, and the state is also involved, as I said. But now, the change actually is at the top, we know. But administration will still continue. But maybe some drastic policies or decisions might not be taken now. Already you could see that Dr. Dampari is, I can say that personal view, can say that he's almost at the top of his job, because you should know that he's even acting now. So we even pray that he should be confirmed as early as possible, and he has already introduced the horse and those things. This thing must be well explained to people. People think that it's just a joke. It's a very nice idea that he has brought, and other things that he's putting together. We are ready to support him so that all these things could go on. As they have deployed the people to the various community, fine. It's very fine, but they have to also, as they deploy them, they should not just consider at the level of the security sector or the police level. When they go down there, they should actually involve the people on the ground, the opinion leaders, the chiefs, and other people. They should be involved, because if these people are not practically involved, there's no way. Somebody may be even hiding a hard criminal in his or her room. But if you have not involved the actual people, you can dance around everything, but you will not sweat. That means you will not get any results at the end. It might look like a long-term approach, but I think we can also start at the immediate to you, because they are even doing some of these things already. So I think they should consider those things and see if it will not yield a different result than what we are facing all this while.
Well, I'm grateful for your time. That's Francis Ahovi. He is with the Global Security for Africa, indicating what exactly it is that Ghana Police Service has to roll out to ensure national security. But